welcome back to another video. And this one, I want to share with you the missing link to the idea of the secret or the law of attraction. Now, the reason I want to do this is because one of the most common things I see with this is a misunderstanding with thinking that all we have to do is think a certain way, focus on a certain thing, and then it'll be brought into our life experience. Now, beyond just that, I want to give you a scenario, like understanding an example that can really help us understand why it's more important to look at it from a new point of view. Now, you could have a guy, for example, who wants to manifest a Lamborghini into his life experience. So he might sit on his couch for a couple hours a day and just sit there thinking about a Lamborghini. He might focus on it, and the thing is he might go out later in the day and he might see more Lamborghinis around because his RAS, the reticular activating system in his brain, what he focuses on is pulling more of those so that he sees them, but he might not actually pull it into his reality unless he understands that it's more than just that. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. It's understanding that more so important than just what we think about is our beliefs about what we think to be true. Whatever we believe to be true will always be reflected back to us. So that guy that's sitting there thinking about a Lamborghini, if he doesn't think he's worthy of it and he doesn't think that he can actually have it, doesn't matter how much he thinks about it because his beliefs will negate it actually happening in his life. Now, there's another part of this. A necessary part of this process is understanding that we must take massive action to get what we want in our life. Now, why is massive action so important? Well, what massive action does, or just action, is understanding that when we take action, what we do are open up opportunities. We open up pathways for what we want to happen to actually flow into our life experience. So if that guy just sits on the couch thinking about it, but he's not actually taking any action, it's not as likely that he will actually bring it into his life experience because he's not taking massive action and he doesn't even believe that he can have it. He doesn't believe he's worthy of it, and he doesn't believe it could even come into his life experience. Now, the key to this is understanding that we can change what we believe to be true by getting to the core of how we think the way we do. Now, understand this. Most of what we believe to be true was brought into our life or was a part of our life very early on. Between the ages of when we're born to about the age of 11, most of what we believe to be true is formed. And this happens through one of two ways. It's either one, through what our parents believe to be true. So a lot of times we will kind of absorb the beliefs and thoughts of our parents, a lot of times at subconscious levels. But the other part of this is understanding that there are certain reference experiences that we've had that give us and shape the way we see the world. So, for example, if you go to school, maybe in kindergarten, and somebody steps on your toe and bullies you, the idea is that you might then start to believe that you're unworthy, or start to believe that people are always out to get you. And if you develop and continue to perpetuate that, there'll be time and time again in life experience where that reflects back because that's the belief about who that person is. So the point of this is understanding that if we get to the core of why we think the way we do, and all we have to do is simply ask a question, what would I have to believe is true to perpetuate this pattern over and over again? Maybe if you're a girl or like woman, for example, and you find yourself in the same situation with a guy, even though it's a different guy, maybe a similar type pattern, maybe a guy doesn't treat you right, and then you get into a new relationship and it's the same type of thing. Well, that could be because at some level when you were younger, either maybe you saw your dad treat your mom that way, or you had a reference experience where somebody treated you a certain way and you don't feel yourself as worthy, and that's what you think you deserve. So therefore that pattern keeps being perpetuated over and over again. Now, here's one of the best parts about this, is if you simply become aware of what that pattern was, of what that reference experience was, the moment that you identify what it is, it goes away. And that's simply because when you become aware of what it is, you simply realize that that was one perspective that you've had. It was one thing, and since that's where you saw the dominoes begin to fall, what you can then do is kind of like move the domino out of the way so that it doesn't fall and make all the other ones fall. The idea is that then you see from that point going forward, you don't choose to be under the unconscious patterning of that same way of thinking because that is no longer who you are. It was only one experience that you've had. So that is the end of the process, not the beginning. Simply become aware of what you believe to be true, become aware of what the reference experiences were that shaped your perspective, and that's how the real change begins to happen. Now, another part of this is understanding why we must take massive action. Now, anytime we take massive action, what we are doing is, first of all, saying to ourselves that we believe something is possible. If we believe that we can have what we really desire, we will naturally take action because we believe it is probable that it will come to pass, but we need to do something about it. Anytime we take action, what we are doing is creating new pathways, new opportunities for this to flow into our life experience. And if we decide to execute whatever we want, we decide to do it by taking massive action, we open up those valves, we open up those opportunities, and we're much more likely to actually bring it into our life experience. There was something that was mentioned in The Secret, but I feel like it was very underemphasized, because then there was like this big hype around just sitting around thinking all day, when it's not just about thinking, it is actually about being. We need to be that which we want to be. If we act like that, our actions mirror the inner way that we think about ourselves, there's more likelihood that we'll actually attract what we want in our life. Now, the last part that I want to share with you is something that I think has so much power, and that is understanding how we can let go of all these intellectual ideas. We can let go of all these logical understandings of, I need to think about this, I need to believe in all of this stuff. As much as I just shared all these tools with you that can transform your life, the best thing we can do is use them and then let them go. Understand that once we become aware of that, that is the power, but we can let them go and just be in the moment. We can just have fun. If we let go and we have a loose type attitude about it, we become self-amused, we then up our emotional set point, we up our vibration. And as we begin to do that, things around us become more malleable, become more formable. Anytime we are so serious about the things that we want to happen, what we end up doing is making them more rigid, because we are so focused and so serious about everything that everything is rigid and formed the way that it is, and it's not changeable. The idea is to just loosen up about it. Just let it go. Be self-amused. Focus on feeling good, on being in the moment. Still take massive action, but do it from a point of having fun. Do it from a point of knowing that you are worthy already. A lot of times we put a goal outside of something we want to manifest, and we say, when I obtain this, I will feel happy. If instead we just acted in the present moment, like we are already 100% whole and complete, we could be grateful for what we have in our life. And as we become grateful, we then make it so that everything happens quicker anyways. It's a funny paradox, but the more we feel 100% whole and complete, the more our environment will reflect that inner state of being. So with all that being said, remember, you can get to the core of what you believe to be true. You can understand that as you begin to do that, you begin to literally rewire the way that you think. You begin to change the potentials for what happens in your life. Then what you can begin to do is to take massive action, and understand that as you begin to do that, you're getting closer and closer to opening up the opportunities that could change your life. And then let go of all the intellectual ideas. Simply be self-amused, have fun in the moment, still take action, but understand that you can do it from a high vibe place of you are already 100% whole and complete. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like it if you liked it, share it if you found it of value, and I'll see you guys on the next vid. All right, peace, much love.